Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming. You see my title, Skull and Telescope. This is sort of a play on words. Some of you might know that there is an astronomical magazine printed every month called Sky and Telescope. So this is sort of a play on words to put you in a certain mindset. Now, don't worry, folks. I might get a little off topic, but I promise to get back to astronomy. Tonight's talk is a commercial venture of AAI. Okay. Advertising gimmicks are everywhere. They try every angle. They try to do everything to appeal to consumers. Oh, excuse me. They try to combine different subjects, special interest, ordinary activities to influence all groups and make sales to everybody and appeal to everybody and get repeat customers. Now, tonight, I will give an example of alcohol, astronomy, and advertising. Now, remember, this is not a personal endorsement. I'm just reporting the facts as I remember from a critical executive committee meeting a long, long time ago. And this is a true story, folks. What I'm about to tell you actually happened in this room. Okay, now, first I'd like to get you in the mood, a certain way of thinking. There are beer breweries out there that want to appeal to celestial people. So this one in Newcastle in Great Britain, they were inspired by the 1950s space race between USA and USSR. There's also a brewing company in Maine that makes beer called Phobos and Deimos, and Ursa Major, and Polaris. Polaris is a wheat stout. Yeah, it is all true. No kidding. And then you have the space barley beer from Japan, who supposedly makes their barley from seeds that grew in space. It was part of a 2006 experiment where astronauts tried growing real food in zero G. And if you read their ad, it says the slightly dark color evokes the image of cosmic space with a mellow fragrance and a distinctive roasted taste. Okay. Now, what's going on here? What is this? Am I trying to talk about alcohol and astronomy and AI? What is this? Okay. Now, back to astronomy. This is a true story in AAI's history. Decades ago, the AAI Executive Committee received a written proposal. We talked about it, made a decision, and then the club moved on. But I wonder if we had decided differently that night, what would our fate have been now, so many years later? Now, tonight has very little astronomy in it. In fact, it has no astronomy. But it is a study in human alternative choices and how people make decisions. Okay. About 32 years ago, AAI received a letter, a real hard copy letter on white paper created on a typewriter. You've seen those in magazines or in old museums, right? And in this letter, it was addressed to AAI, by the way. It was not addressed to Union College. They wanted to film a commercial inside a big observatory somewhere in the New York metro area, and they chose this observatory. They needed a big telescope and real astronomers to move the telescope around. They would pay us $600 for the use of the building, and they would provide food for the staff during the film shoot. So far it sounded okay. They needed Sperry for a beer commercial. A beer commercial. Can you imagine? Of course, the proposal came from the advertising agency. They never mentioned the name of the beer. And in the letter, they wrote in longhand a rough storyline about how the 10-second commercial would be. It would run on local broadcast networks, and this was decades before cable or streaming TV or YouTube or smartphones or podcasts or anything like that. It would run on regular broadcast television. Okay. Again, this was done a long time ago. So there were no videos. There was certainly no PowerPoint. So in words, they described how this commercial would be. And the AAI Executive Committee had to imagine how this commercial would be presented. So I took the liberty of using PowerPoint and making a storyboard to have you visualize how this commercial would have looked if it ever reached television. And please understand, no astronomers or planets were harmed in the making of this storyboard. Okay. The opening scene. There is an astronomer drinking beer using a telescope. Now, this happens to be Edwin Hubble. He is a stand-in because remember, they said they might use an AAI member in their commercial. So Edwin Hubble now represents an AAI member. He is drinking beer. He is at the telescope. He looks through the eyepiece, and what does he see? Oh my God, he sees an asteroid heading for Earth. It's the end of the world. Oh my God, so run for your life. But if it's the end of the world, where are you going to run? Doomsday, it's doomsday. Oh my God, the Earth is destroyed. Oh my God. Okay. The final scene. The only thing that is left as a symbol of humanity is the bottle of beer. Wow. That's the commercial they wanted to make. Really? Okay. Now, the executive committee runs this crazy. Oh, by the way, the AAI Executive Committee is the ruling body of AAI. It is made up of different committees, and we take our jobs very seriously, even this job. So we had to think, how would we handle this if we said yes to the commercial? We wondered, would this commercial make you rush out and buy the beer? Would you be afraid of running out of beer if there really was a doomsday? Would the TV audience have questions? Would they wonder if astronomers even drink beer when they're on duty? Would this inspire doomsday preppers to stash more beer? Maybe they would think we have beer parties in this building. And of course, if that was the only relic left over, it might cheapen artifacts that are really from past civilizations. So, AAI had to accept this offer of filming a commercial. We had many points to consider, and we discussed many things and made a final decision. We did. But this is such a crazy story. We never really talked about it in public. So now tonight, for the first time, for new club members or young members or tonight guests who have never heard this story, this is privileged information. We had many questions to answer, too. How many qualified observers do we need? Would we be in a commercial? Should we ask permission of Union College? Should we share the $600 with the college? Should we bother to even tell the college? Would they need the observatory in the daytime or night? Which dome would they need, the 24-inch scope or the 10-inch scope? When would the commercial be on TV? And really, what was the name of the beer company that wanted to use our observatory? Okay, so then we got down to business. Would Union College allow alcohol even for this special occasion? Should we support the notion that astronomers drink on the job? Should we scare an audience about a doomsday scenario? Should we promote the theory that in the end of all great civilizations there will be nothing but a bottle of beer? Would people really believe the world is ending and be mad at astronomers or at the beer company if nothing happened? I'm telling you, we did. We talked about everything we could think of, really. So, how to decide? People say, well, it would be good publicity or bad publicity for AAI or the college. We get $600 and free food. We get AAI members on TV. And that would be some milestone in AAI's history to get Sperry Observatory in a real TV commercial. Then people said, well, we're promoting beer drinking in a working observatory. That's not so good. AAI might be viewed as selling out to a beer commercial. And it does degrade astronomy and space sciences. So, what was the final vote of the AAI exec board? Okay, I gave you all the information, and everybody online and everybody in this room. Raise your hands. How many think that AAI said, yes, let's do the commercial? Okay. And how many people say that we said, thanks, but no thanks. We're not doing the commercial. Okay. We said no. We are not doing the commercial. We politely declined, and that was that. And all the arguments against the commercial were very strong. And we decided that we promote astronomy, we promote space sciences, and we didn't want anything to put astronomy in a bad light. Now that happened like 32 years ago. The attitudes are different now toward drinking, and viewpoints have changed about endorsing science and space exploration. And you have a lot of doomsday preppers that live for end of days, you know, and they might blame or praise us for doing the commercial or not doing the commercial. And of course, you don't need a real working observatory. Now, AI can create an observatory background. You don't have to film on location. And if AAI received the same proposal today, how would the AAI Executive Committee react? I wonder about that. No? Now, whatever happened to that commercial? Well, months later, NJAA, another astronomy club in North Jersey, got the same letter. They wanted to film a TV commercial inside their actual observatory. They needed an impressive telescope and real astronomers to move the scope around. They would pay NJA $600 and give them free food if they could use the NJA 26-inch scope. How do you think NJA voted? Yes. Did they vote yes? Or did they vote no?
Yes.
They voted no. For the same reasons that we voted no. Okay, so Before I end, I would like to thank some people, Al and Mary, and creative agencies everywhere, and creative breweries everywhere. And I want to thank the AAI members of the exec board so many decades ago who made that strong decision. And I have two quotations tonight. I am a firm believer in the people. If given the truth, they can depend upon to meet any national crisis. The great point is to bring them the real facts and beer. And of course, we all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us. And that's it, folks.